Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're at a local farm. We are going to be helping them butcher 45 of their meat chickens. So I wanted to take you guys along with the process. There are going to be some things I do not show, and one of those is going to be the actual dispatching of the chickens. However, it will be recorded and available on the Alaska Homestead Academy, which is put on through Common Ground Alaska, which is where we're at today. So this is the dispatching station. You really don't need anything special. I mean, these are just a few cones with the tips cut off to put the chickens down in head first. And then once the chicken's in here, you'll take the head and you'll cut along the neck to bleed them out. Now, once that's done, they get put in a scalder. So once they've been dispatched, they come over to the scalder, and this will be 145 degrees. They'll get scalded, and then they will be put into the plucker, which has not been set up yet, but I will show you guys once it's here. Now, once they've been run through the plucker, they'll come over to this table where we are going to be removing the feet and the heads, which I will show you guys that, but like I said, the rest of it is going to be available on the Alaska Homesteading Academy, and there will be a link in the description for you guys. So the heads and the feet are removed, then we're going to take them inside of the greenhouse to actually do the gutting. I do intend to show that in this video, so if you are squeamish, I'll make sure to kind of timestamp it for you so you know when to skip. But once we remove all the organs, we are going to be separating them, and we're also going to be trimming some of the excess fat off of the chickens in order to make schmaltz, which is similar to tallow and lard. It is the processed chicken fat. So once all the organs are separated into their buckets as well as the fat, then they go and they get put on ice. They'll go through the entire rigor mortis process, and then once they're done, that's when they actually get bagged and frozen in a freezer. Allowing them to completely go through the rigor mortis process really helps keep the meat tender instead of being super tough. So with all that, let's get butchering some chickens.
Butch out whatever you want.
Yeah, I can get.
What do you want?
Yeah, I can get.
Gut? Like last time?
Yeah.
Okay, so once you have bled your chicken, you are going to scald it in 145-degree water for about 30 seconds. It kind of changes depending on how hot your water actually is. You want to keep it around the 145 mark. Oh, nice, like that. Okay. So once the wing feathers pull out that easily, they're ready to be tossed into the plucker. So now we're going to remove the heads and the feet. The heads are fairly easy. And then the feet, you want to just remove them at this joint. So it's this joint here. Okay, so Farmer Tandy has just given us a wonderful piece of advice to cut here at the joint and then go from the underside and slice through. Makes it a little bit faster, and it is easier than trying to find your way through that joint. Well, maybe if you're anybody but me. Okay, so now in terms of processing the chickens, we're gonna remove the neck, we're gonna remove the tail, and then of course we will remove all of the insides. Now we have buckets here for everything. We have a fat bucket, so this can be rendered into schmaltz. We have a heart bucket, lung bucket, liver, gizzard, trash, and neck bucket. So first we're gonna cut here to loosen up the crop. This one's very full. You just want to pull it away from the skin, so when you pull it through the other side of the chicken, it comes out. Okay, so now we've got that crop loose, we're just gonna leave it there, flip the chicken around. This one is very gassy. So you're gonna pinch here and begin your cut. You don't wanna go too deep. And then you'll just pull it open. And then we can begin scooping everything out. There's the heart. Now, unfortunately, this time around, the gizzard did not pull through. Oh, and it broke, lovely. So we're just gonna pull it from the other end. A little bit of liver. I'm gonna take this liver as well. Gonna remove this extra fat, put that in our fat bucket. Okay, now that we just have the gizzards left, I'm going to cut off the tail portion of it. So you just take this, cut it down, kind of like a triangle shape down here, right around that. Do the same thing on the other side. Cut it down. Once you get to a certain point, it's easier just to grab it and pull it off. And now this is a good amount of fat, so we're gonna flip that over and we're gonna cut just below its anus. And then we have a nice bit of fat. To be turned into schmaltz. These are gonna go in the trash bucket. Now we're gonna come back in here to get the lungs. Okay, now we're gonna come back to the neck. So we already have our cut here from earlier. We're just going to cut all the way through. Flip it over. And you can kind of feel when it ends right here. Just cut across, and it's easy enough to just bring back. Now you have the whole neck exposed if you just bring it back. Cut it a little bit. It just comes right off. There you have your neck. Then you want to give your chicken a bath. And then you have your cleaned up chicken. So 47 chickens and 228 pounds of chicken later, they are all processed and ready to sit on ice for 24 hours before we come back and put them in our freezer. We do that to make sure that they pass through the rigor mortis stage completely, and it makes sure that the meat is nice and tender and it doesn't get super tough. Compared to last year when we did over 100 chickens in a day, this was far easier. So that is it for this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.